What's up, Helldivers? This is a video for everyone who wants a layman's explanation of all the weapons and when to use them. This isn't a video about how to use them in the meta. This is a video on what weapon is good for what and when in a team setting. So if you're running with 3 or 4 guys, what weapon would pair well with what? It's just a very simple thing, something to send to your friends who don't quite understand what gun to run. You could run all 4 of the same weapon and do very well, but this is just a way to mix and match each other's loadouts to complement each other more so. So here we go. Obviously, the Liberator, first one up, because everyone gets it, everyone has it. It's the base gun. It's the best option if you don't know what you're good with and you want something that's just going to get the job done and get it done good. It's not great, it's not terrible, but it's always good. It's fun to play with, and 4 people running it are going to do just fine. Just going to go down the line. The Penetrator, this is a good option when you want somebody who can shoot through the what's considered non-armored enemies. I believe the Hive Guard and I forget which, it's the Berserker on the bot side. The more simpler enemies, like you wouldn't be able to kill a Bile Titan with this, you would not be able to kill a Charger with this through the armor, mind you, through the armor. Or the Hulk, you have to hit the eye hole on the Hulk in order to get kills. But this is great when you're shooting the rear end of the Charger. This is great when you're shooting the soft spots on a Bile Titan. It is good. It's good for the Hive Guard. It will go through the armor of a Hive Guard because that is considered medium armor. The medium armor, the light armor, or heavy armor penetrating isn't fully explained. I'm sure there are other videos out there that explain the medium or heavy or light armor, but for now we're just going to glaze over that simply and just say this is great for 1 or 2 people running, as long as you're fighting together. Mind you, I'm going to emphasize this before I go any further forward, that all of these guns, the idea is we're complementing each other to be a better strike team. The concussive is good because it has the explosive trait. What the explosive trait does, because I know there are probably other videos that are more in depth with this, but simply put, explosive is good for attacking weak points. The bottom of the Bile Titan or the ass end of the Charger, and I'm going to keep using those 2 as an example. The explosive will also stagger, so this will push them back for every little burst that you do to them. This is good for maybe 1 person in the team to run, especially if you're sticking real close to someone. This is great. You can push back a couple of guys in a big crowd of enemies coming right at you. This will keep them at bay. It's a good option for that. Damage-wise, it is a slower rate of fire. That's why you have to either pair it with something else. This is all based on preference. I'm not going to tell you guys what to pair things with. Just generally, if someone is running this, maybe only 1 of you run it in a group of 3 or 4. It's not a bad choice. None of these are a bad choice. It's all about what you have fun with. So if somebody has fun with this gun, or multiple of you have fun with this gun, it's okay to run more than 1. However, it is really only good for shooting weak points and pushing guys back. It's not really a good damage dealer. What I have to say about the Diligence and the Diligence Counter Sniper is these are for people who have really good shots, who tend to stay back. So if you're that friend, or you get sent this video because you are the friend using the marksman rifle, maybe go back, and instead of being on the front lines with the 2 or 3 other guys, stay back a little bit into a little bit safer spot. I'm not saying stay back and then accidentally get killed, but think as a team. If they have the weapons that are better up front, like the shotguns, let them be up front. Don't push as hard if you have this. And the same thing goes for the counter sniper. It does more damage, and it does a great job on weak spots. These are great for pinpoint accuracy people. People with really good flick aim can do well with marksmans, but they are slow, they have low capacity, they are really meant for staying back a little bit. The submachine guns are good if you are someone who likes to use the ballistic shield and you want to be right up in the front. You're just going to be reloading very often. The Knight shoots ridiculously fast. As far as I understand, this has the highest fire rate at 1380. I could be wrong, and it doesn't have very many magazines. So if you're running this gun, make sure you are constantly calling in resupplies. Remember, the stratagems are free unless you're using something like the orbital laser, where you only have 3 to begin with. But resupplies you can infinitely call down as long as you call them down immediately after the 2.5 minute cooldown, whatever. I don't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head. but you call it in after that cooldown. You guys are constantly getting ammo for each other. And the SMG-37 Defender, also a great choice. Hits relatively hard. Neither one of these guns is going to stagger anything. They're not going to hit weak points very well. They're good options if you are always right up front and have heavy armor. They are good options. I would only recommend one person on the team ever run this, though. So, you know, mix and match with whatever you would like, but only one person should have the SMGs. Unless you are a good team who can run multiple SMGs together, because they do hit hard if used correctly. Now we're at the shotgun category. I have nothing but good things to say about pretty much all of these guns. The pump action shotgun, this is great. You pair 2 people with it, it staggers, it hits super hard, the recoil is totally manageable, it just doesn't go through armor like the slug gun. Slug gun does great, and it staggers even harder than the buckshot version. The slug gun, it says it does less damage, but it does really great damage. You can get good headshots with this. This thing is borderline a sniper rifle. You know, you could pair a whole team with slug guns. You could pair a whole team with punishers, regular punishers with buckshot. I really have nothing but good things to say. So if you are the person being sent this video because you haven't tried either one of these slug gun or Punisher guns, the SG8 and 8S, give them a try. They are actually a lot of fun to play with. Since unlocking the plasma, I haven't really found a lot of good use cases for it, other than shooting the ground in front of a crowd. If another person on the team is running a gun where I'd recommend only one person has it, this is not a good option for someone else on the team. This is, if anyone wants to use the plasma, they have to be sticking close to everyone else, because this thing has 8 rounds, it does splash damage, and it is good on weak points, very, very good at weak points, and that's about it. So if one person has this, they need to be an absolute team player and stick together. The currently bugged, as of today, March 24th, this gun is still bugged, all the electric weapons are, but the Arc Blitzer is another one of those guns that would pair well with other people on the team running something else. The Blitzer does amazing for clearing out waves of small enemies, and being electric, it does damage to Bile Titans, it does do damage to Chargers, it does do damage to the bigger bots, but you have to be so close. Have somebody nearby with a shield, have somebody nearby with the stratagem shield. Think wisely, this is a great option for the team. I don't really have much other input outside of it's a good option for at least one person on the team. The SG-225 breaker, this one kind of has been thrown out as the meta weapon, if you're familiar with that phrase in this game at this point. This is just like the Liberator. This is your second best option that everyone can run and everyone will do good with. The breaker is really damn good, even with the nerf that they had given it in the last balance patch. I recommend anybody run this gun at any point. This is a great option. It's one of the 2 baseline weapons that anyone should be running. The breaker spray and pray is another option I would say 1 or maybe 2 people on the team run. This, combined with another teammate fighting with you at the same time, shreds. Everything small gets shredded. Anything weak gets shredded. It doesn't hit that hard, but it has 26 rounds compared to the 13. It has double the capacity and has quite a bit faster fire rate. This is a fantastic weapon to bring when you are rocking a good, solid team. Like, when you guys work together, the spray and pray does help quite a bit. This can be used very effectively if someone else needs to reload and you just mag dump into the crowd with this thing. By the time you're done mag dumping, their reload animation should be over with. The breaker incendiary, another weapon I would only recommend one person on the team has. Another one of the weapon traits that isn't explicitly explained is incendiary. Obviously it lights enemies on fire, but it is a weak point weapon. And it doesn't say that outright, but this is great for that Bile Titan. This is great for the weak spot on the Charger. Against bots, this isn't really the best, but it's not the worst choice. It's fine. Personally, I don't run this ever. I didn't really like it in the few matches I ran with it, but if you're someone who's really good at hitting weak points, this is a great option for you. The Dominator. This is one of the better guns in the game as well. This is up there with the Breaker. It's got a really low capacity. It's got actually a fairly slow projectile speed. Being jet propelled, you think it'd be a little quicker, but it's a little slow, but you'll get used to using it once you unlock it. It is medium armor, pretty much hits everything and does damage to it. And it is the only thing under the explosive category. So it is an explosive, so if they get close to you, it will blow you up. If someone else has a marksman on the team, you would be in front of the marksman, but you would not be the two people of the four fighting right up front. This is in between, right at the front lines and a little backed off. This is a great option for either bugs or bots. I would recommend anyone give this a try. It's just that little bit of a learning curve to get past the jet propelled rounds. A couple magazines in, you'll figure it out. This is a great option. Now, onto the energy weapons. The only thing about these down here that I will say is that you have to be much more team focused with these energy weapons in general. The Scythe is a one-man only gun. Another one of those, one person should be running it. Only one of you. Unless you stack all four of you and you all attack the same target at once. You have 3 magazines or heat sinks. So if you overload them, which is very easy to do on these, especially on the hot planets, because that is a thing. On hotter planets, these overheat faster. On cold planets, they overheat much slower. On the cold planets, I would argue the Scythe is a very good weapon, and on the hot planets, it's a very bad weapon. And that does technically apply to the sickle, but I'll get to that in a second. But the Scythe really should only be run by one person at a time. It is continuous damage. It is great, just like the spray and pray, to let someone else get their reload in while you do some damage and back off the enemies. This is an absolute monster at destroying weak points because it is a laser and it just homes right in on the spot that you want to hit. But only one person should run it at a time, in my opinion. Personally, I would go with other options. I do not like the Scythe, but I have friends who love it and they have fun with it. So if you have fun with this gun, maybe you should be the only one running this gun on a team of 4. The sickle, being one of the newer weapons in the game, is the third option I would consider for everyone can run it, and it is amazing. It has 6 magazines. It overheats fairly quickly, but is very easy to manage. You can switch over to your secondary weapon, and in the time of mag dumping your second weapon, the sickle should be cooled down, and you can just switch right back to it, and you almost never have to reload it. It does really good damage, it hits really hard, and it smacks weak points really hard. Can't recommend this enough. I've been having so much fun with this. This is a great base option for even a new player. If they get cutting edge right away, have your friends unlock this gun. This might be the only gun they run for the rest of the game until they release new stuff or they try something that they like more. All right, this is a bit of a weird one because this is basically the Dominator, but it uses electric or energy pulses. Only got 15 rounds. It's really good at hitting weak points, but I feel like it runs out of ammo very quickly. So if you really like the Scorcher and you're really good at hitting weak points, this is a great option. Just like the Dominator, I would put this in the marksman category of not quite sniper length away, but if you shoot something right up close, you're going to kill yourself in one hit. It blows you up. It is explosive. It does say explosive, and it does blow you up. I've killed myself with this more than I have any of the other weapons. It is a fantastic choice, though, because it does hit like a tank. I could see more than one person, maybe 2 people at most should be running this on a strike team. This is a middle-of-the-ground weapon. I don't have much good or bad to say about it. It is okay. It just takes forever to unlock, and it is a bit of a letdown when you get to unlock it because it could have been better. Be one of the things they're going to balance patch and fix, because I feel like it could use maybe 2 more rounds of ammo and it'd be a lot more useful, but I wouldn't tell someone not to run it. This is definitely a pretty okay weapon. On the sidearms, everyone switches away from the Peacemaker as soon as they can because it has such low capacity magazines. However, you could very easily just run this gun. There's nothing wrong with the Peacemaker. It is fine. Once you get used to hitting your shots with it, it does totally fine. But you unlock the Redeemer, the SMG pistol, very quickly, and it is by far the better option to run once you have unlocked it. I have nothing but good things to say about the Redeemer. Very easily could be, if you don't know what secondary to run, if you're the friend who's being sent this section of the video because you don't know what sidearm to run, just choose the Redeemer. Just choose the SMG. It's gonna save you when you just blind fire backwards. It's been a fantastic weapon. And then this is the newest sidearm that they've added to the game, the dagger. The dagger is only good for someone who is good with the scythe. It is a weak spot killer. It overheats incredibly quickly. If you don't want ammo as your sidearm, this is your only option. This is the only one that doesn't use ammo. You get, I think, 3 magazines, just like the scythe. You don't get very many. Doesn't hit really that hard. Fantastic at weak spot damage, though. Only recommend if you're the person who doesn't want to have ammo on their secondary, because you don't use it that often. And on to the Senator. It's a revolver. It's in the game for fun. It's a ton of fun to use. If you are someone who's really good at hitting your shots, this thing's amazing. It hits like a truck. It really does. It hits like a truck. It has 6 rounds. It is a revolver. In a pinch, this thing's not going to help you. I've gotten killed more times because I shoot all 6 shots backwards and I still have 5, 6, 10 enemies running at me. Overall, the Redeemer is a better option than the other 3 secondaries, but the Senator's a lot of fun. So if you're somebody who wants to have fun, this is a good option for you. One thing I will note is that I do not have the smoke grenade, but the smoke grenade is a good option. It is really great for escaping. Use it to trick the enemy not being able to see you. Go prone, crouch, run away. Honestly, all of the grenades, frag, high explosive, or impact, are good options no matter what. Just know that the impact is going to be a lot harder to destroy nests and factories with compared to the other 2 grenades. Stun grenade and smoke grenade, which again, I have not unlocked yet. I have friends who have unlocked it and they use it, and these 2 are great options. Smoke has so much less utility than everything else, but the stun grenade is great. It stuns Bile Titans, it stuns chargers, it stuns everything. Is not going to destroy nests, just like smoke grenade. Doesn't destroy nests, doesn't destroy factories. So 1 person on the team runs the stun. The other 3 people on the team should always be running high explosive, in general, explosive type grenades. So 1 person can take a stun or they can take a smoke. Honestly, since they've released this stun grenade, this is one of the best options to run as a team. You can stun all of the big guys at once, drop a 500 kilogram on them, drop a laser or 2 on them, and your team will take them out. These are really great for the high-end missions because you can stun all the enemies that would normally kill you. It stops animations as well, so if they're spewing at you or flamethrowering, this stops that. So the stun grenade is great for that. Otherwise, everyone else should be running regular grenades otherwise, because a stun grenade and 3 other grenades of whatever kind will wipe out an entire crowd. Throw these as much as possible. You can always call in a resupply. Throw your grenades. All right, everyone, appreciate you watching all the way to the end if you've made it this far. There's a general guide to how to mix weapons together and complement each other as a team. This is a conversation you guys all need to have with each other. What should I run? What are you running? This is what you do. Make a conversation about it and pick, what are you going to be running? Are you all going to be running sickle? Or who's going to use a scythe? Who's using incendiary? This is all team-based. Work as a team. If you mix and match, you can have an unbeatable. You will just blitz through these high-end missions like they're nothing. 7, 8, 9 will feel like a breeze when each other mixes and matches. And these are just the primaries, secondaries, and grenades. I will do the stratagems and the support weapons in a different video. Thanks for watching.